Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we are going to be filming a art school versus state school video with my friend Carolina.
Hey guys!
Carolina goes to UNC Chapel Hill. Oh yeah,
you guys can't. I wore it on purpose. Or I kept it on
I should have worn my Scad shirt.
So I was too right.
Shoot! We're gonna be answering some questions asked by Enzo up on the stairs at the boss bed.
Wait, better face reveal. Me. Oh.
We're going to be answering some questions and comparing our two schools. This would definitely have been helpful for me when I was deciding between Scad and literally UGA. Because I was like, how do you decide between art school and state school? Because they're so different. Now you'll be able to find out.
You've just got to choose your vibe.
We're both rising sophomores, by the way.
So our first segment is about the education. And question one is, what does a normal assignment look like for you?
Well, it kind of depends on your major. So I'm a nutrition major, public health, but I'm also on the pre-med track, so women in STEM. And so I feel like, I mean, usually I don't have assignments, they're all just exam based, unless I'm doing just papers for my Spanish class. Oh yeah, because I'm a Spanish minor, so if I'm doing papers for a Spanish class.
I'm a graphic design major, what was the question again?
What does a normal assignment look like?
Oh, okay. A normal assignment. I haven't done any graphic design classes really yet, but I've done a lot of the art foundations classes. The typical assignment for me is projects, where there's normally just different phases of the project, and then at the end there's a presentation.
Okay, question two. How do they grade you, and what do they grade you on?
I mean, we have the pretty much the basic A minus, B plus, that kind of crap. So that's my passion for why is it A minus, 3.7 GP. The big chunk of your grade, especially for my STEM classes, is exams. We'll have 3 midterms, or 3-4 midterms, and a final exam, and that's most of it. So they grade it based on if you get it right.
We don't have the A minus, A plus. We just have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh wait, no, not G.
E.
Or E. Most of our grades are based on our project, and different parts of the project will get a different percentage. But for example, most of our projects take up a big chunk of our grades. So in my next graphic design class, all of my projects are worth 25% of the grade, and there's 3 projects. The last 25 is normally participation, there's sometimes a paper.
How often do you have tests?
So probably a midterm. It's called a midterm, but we'll have them once a month, so it's really not a midterm. But I would say probably some classes have them I have an exam or test every 2-ish weeks. It's the way all the classes work. Each class probably has a test every month.
I have not actually had a test yet at Scad. I don't think I have had a test. We really only have projects, and the projects are our tests. In art history, I had quizzes pretty much every week, but they're all online quizzes, and usually they're open note, which is really nice.
What types of projects do you do?
I mean, I don't really do projects. I feel the only project I had was I had to make a podcast for an Italian class I took. I'll have to write a paper, but I don't do anything innovative. Or I had to make a little diary for a random gen ed, but nothing really. Pretty
much everything we do is projects. There's normally one project going on at a time in each of your classes. I've had to take drawing classes, and those are just a drawing that you have to, submit by the end of the project time. I took Digicom, which is where you're developing your personal brand and stuff. So I made a logo and a website for myself. Speech class, we had to our projects were just speeches that we had to write and submit.
How many hours of homework do you have?
I don't even count them, honestly, a lot. I don't know. It's every week is so different. I'll have a week where it's so busy and everything is in that one week, and I'm gonna want to die that whole week, and I'm so busy and doing a bunch of hours each day, and there's other weeks where it's relaxed.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends.
The thing that was different for me was that pretty much all of my weeks were the same, because the projects were paced out so evenly. So I would say for each class it was probably 2 hours a day average for each class, and I had 3 classes, so maybe 4 to 6, and then on weekends it would be at least 6 hours a day every day on the weekends.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much around the same, I feel
I'm just kidding.
What did you think college was?
I'm just kidding. Okay, how often do you have free time?
Again, it kind of depends on the week. I feel I usually try to take at least half a day or a full day on the weekend to do nothing. Or not do nothing, but have free time. I'll try to go to the gym 5 times a week. Something that doesn't happen all the time, but So I guess that's like free time, or like I like to go to bed like kind of early and like chill. I don't do work at night really, so I feel like that's usually when I take my free time is like at night, just like chilling in my bed.
I'm like the opposite. After my class, I would like go have some free time, like which free time for me would consist of like laying in my bed watching YouTube videos, because that's just how I like to recharge after class. Maybe around like 5 p.m. I would start my homework and then work until like 11 p.m. And then I would go to bed. That would be like the typical weekday for me. And then on the weekends, we have 3-day weekends at Scad, so I would usually pace it out to where like usually in the morning up until maybe like 2 p.m. I'm working on homework, and then I'll have the afternoon and evening to do whatever. On the weekends especially, my roommates and I would go like on walks a lot around Savannah, or like go to a coffee shop, or like go out for lunch, or like go to Forsyth Park. And on the weekdays, usually it'd just be like going out for coffee or something like that, or just taking a little walk.
What are 5 essential items for class?
I like a lot of STEM class, you have like the iPad. Like I like taking notes on the little iPad, especially with like the anatomy diagrams and all that. And like, not in class, like you need your computer. I feel like half your homework is like on your computer because you're always like typing something, or like textbooks are online, just stuff like that. What else for class? A lot of our classes, like the bigger lectures, you have to have like a little clicker, because that's like how you do your attendance, like this little like white clicker thingy, and they ask questions, you have to like click in your answer. So like you kind of need those for like your attendance points if it's like a big lecture hall. I take some notes by hand, so like I guess a notebook, pencil and pen, and like a planner. So
you see like what computer you use? I don't know if that's like
helpful. I use a Mac. I don't think really that's unique.
For me, it would be like a computer. Sometimes it depends on like if the class you're taking like has computers in the classroom, which you would just log on to, or like if it's more of a lecture-based class, you might want your computer to take notes. In a lot of my art foundations classes, like drawing for example, we had to take a big portfolio with like our drawing pads and all of our like drawing utensils. So I also had this little like bin with all my drawing supplies and like charcoal pencils and types of pencils and stuff. A notebook definitely for some classes, because I like to take handwritten notes rather than typing on the computer. I don't know why, I just like taking handwritten notes. I would say just like water, because my classes were 2.5 hours long. So just like stuff to get you through that amount of time.
What gen eds do you have?
So for us, like gen eds are like required classes. Everybody has to take English 105, which is like this really like intro English class that you have to take as a freshman, and then you have to take like there's a bunch of gen eds. There's like I still need like my visual performing arts one, which is like kind of hard for me because I'm horrible at art and stuff, so it's gonna be rough. You gotta like get up to a certain level in a language. There's like you have to take a philosophy one, like world before like 1700s or something. And then there's like you have to take a lab, you take like a science. There's like a long list, honestly.
Oh, so wait, so like non-science majors have to take a lab class?
Yeah, everybody has to take a lab.
So the gen eds that I had to take they're more called like foundations classes, which are like random art and design classes that you have to take before you go into your major. So pretty much all of freshman year you're doing foundations classes. So like drawing 1, drawing 2, 3D design, 2D design, digicom, color theory, stuff like that.
Art history.
Oh yeah, and then we have to take like 4 art histories as gen eds. The one I've taken so far is like art history up until the Renaissance. You have to take either a science or a math, but I had a high enough SAT score to like place out of that, which was nice. And then we had to take English, which was just like a basic English, more of like a writing class almost.
Okay, what classes are you taking this upcoming semester?
My hardest one's probably gonna be Organic Chemistry 1, which is gonna be rough because everybody talks about how that's like the rough one. I'm like a Spanish for the medical professions minor, so I'm like taking the first part of like Spanish for the medical professions, which I'm excited about because it's like Spanish and healthcare, that type of thing, so it looks interesting. And then I'm taking my first like Intro to Human Nutrition, Food Policy, like those are both for my major, which sounds fun. And then I have anatomy lab.
At Scad, you only take 3 classes every quarter, so I am taking Intro to Graphic Design, which will be like, you know, Intro to Graphic Design. I don't know how else to describe it, I'm sorry. Visual Design Systems, which is one of my major classes. It's kind of like, here, let me see if there's a good Google definition. Okay, so a design system is a set of standards to manage design at a large scale, kind of like a language and consistency in like a company, how they would design stuff. I also have to take one more gen ed class, which is, I'm gonna take philosophy, which will be fine because it's like, we won't really have like big tests and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot better than philosophy at like Carolina's school.
Oh yeah, they probably make you, I think they make you just do a bunch of papers or something.
Yeah.
What is your favorite class you've taken so far? And least favorite?
I really like chemistry. I like the, okay. I also liked my intro to food studies class I took first semester because it was like we had a different speaker come in each week. And least favorite class I took was definitely my gen ed that I took first semester, where it was like I had to get my world before like 1700. And so I took like this like culture and contagion in Italy, which I found it interesting because I'm Italian. So like it was about like the plague and like how like they handled the plague and stuff through like this book called the whole class is about this book.
What?
The whole class was based off this one book. I can't remember. The Decameron.
My favorite class so far actually wasn't even a design class, surprisingly. It was my speech class. I just love that class so much. It was like so much fun, and my professor was like so entertaining, and he was also like, I guess it's because he like is good at speech, because he's a speech professor, so it made the class interesting because he would like, you know, talk and it would be interesting.
I know, you should shout out his name for all the Scad people who want him as a teacher.
Should I? His name was Mike Anderson. Please take him if you, like, please take him. I'm begging you. My least favorite class, I won't shout out the professor's name. It was my English class. It was mainly just because we had all these workshops where we would just have to like get into a group and talk about what we were writing about, and we wrote like 2 or 3 essays in the class. But like we would spend almost the whole class in these workshops, and it was like, what is this?
These have driven by us like 8 times by now coming.
You're also taking like at least 10 minutes on each question.
Excuse me. Please pause for this brief intermission.
This to thank our sponsor. To thank our sponsor. So the next category is for after school life and just the general college lifestyle. How many years do you have to live on campus?
99% of people live on campus their freshman year. And then I would say, like, for me at least, a good amount of my friends are for sophomore year are going off campus. I'm going off campus. I'm living in my sorority house. Junior and seniors usually don't. Sophomores some. Freshmen, like, basically everybody.
For us, it's like maybe like 80% of people live on campus the first year. I don't know if that's like the exact statistic. It's just a
It
guess.
feels like
There's some really cool places for freshmen to live, but after you're done being a freshman, you're like booted out of the hive. So you have to go either live in one of the other places, which there's not that many of them, and there's also most people I feel like live off campus starting sophomore year. So maybe like 30% live on campus. So I'm living off campus this year.
Okay, what motivated you to audition for 7 Supergirls?
I just always had this passion for pineapples.
Quiet on set!
The next question is, what does a typical week of eating look like?
Last year I had an on-campus meal plan, and this year I also had my sorority meal plan, but then I canceled the on-campus one for 6 semester. I'm trying to eat chances this fast. I'm just kidding. For the upcoming year, I'm gonna be like, I eat the food at the sorority. We have like a chef who makes the food, so I'll eat there like Monday through Friday for lunch, and then like I'll usually go out for like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday night, because we don't have food on the weekends at the house, and like, yeah.
So for like breakfast, I would just eat like a granola bar, which now I hate granola bars because I eat them every day. For like lunch, usually I would just get meal plan stuff because I had a meal plan. We have a lot of different meal plan places to eat at. We have like 10 or 12 meal plan locations, but we don't have the thing that normal schools have where it's like maybe like a Chick-fil-A or like an actual restaurant that you can use dining dollars for.
Oh, we do have that. Yeah, we have a dining dollar.
We don't have that, so I would eat at the main dining hall a lot, and then my friends and I, normally every like Tuesday night, we would go to Carnival, which is like an Asian dining hall place, and it's honestly like kind of bad, but it's like addicting. And yeah, it's a whole experience. We would eat out maybe like not more than once a week, I would say, because the food in Savannah is really expensive because it's a tourist area.
What are some big events at your school?
UNC is a huge basketball school, so for us, basketball games are like huge. A lot of people go to that. We were in the Final Four. We went to the championship last year for March Madness. Football games are also pretty big. There's also the streaking, which is like this event that happens. I don't participate, but there's this event that happens. every semester, like the day before exams start, where like people like streak from the top of like the top floor of one of our libraries, like the bottom, and like out into like our little pit area.
We don't really have sports at my school unless you count that our bowling team is #1 in the nation. We have the film festival every October, which is like where you can get tickets to go see like some new films, and they normally have celebrity speakers, but they didn't last year because of COVID. They hopefully will this year though. And then we have the Sidewalk Arts Festival, which is where everybody like decorates a square of Forsyth Park. And then we have the Sand Arts Festival, which is where everybody makes like sand castles and stuff. I love how Caroline is like, football and streaking, and I'm like,
football.
Sidewalk Arts Festival. A quick thumbnail. I know your back hurts.
What is the dorm situation for freshmen?
For us, it's like a majority of the freshmen either live in this like one building that's like right on Franklin Street called Granville. Their South Campus, which is like the main freshman area. They're all suite style, so it's like, it was like me and my roommate, and then we had 3 other pairs of roommates, so there was 8 of us. And it was like a little hallway, and we had like 4 rooms of each roommate pair, and then we had 1 bathroom, 1 shower, 1 toilet for all 8 of us, which is kind of rough. Really gross AC. I had like bronchitis a lot, sicknesses a lot. Love that.
The main place that freshmen live is called the Hive, and there's like, I think 8 buildings in the Hive. I lived in Honey at the Hive, and it's suite style, so you are with 1 roommate, and then there's another pair of roommates, and you share a common room with like a couch, and then you share like a toilet room, a shower room, and then like a bathroom. The dorms are like super like new pretty much, so they're like really nice.
Way nicer than ours.
And then the other place is called Turner House, and that one's hotel style, so it's you and 1 other roommate, and you share a bathroom. And both are pretty good, so there's not really like a bad place that you can live on campus.
Are there a lot of people from out of the country or out of the state?
Well, UNC is a public school, so I would say there's definitely like a big majority of people are from North Carolina. There's still like a good amount though of out-of-state students. Like out of my 8 people in my suite, I think 5 of us were out of state, and I would say there's a decent amount of international.
About a third of the students at my school are international. I've met a lot of people from like South America and Central America, which is really interesting.
How much do you usually walk in a day?
I would walk a lot last year because my dorm was like 15 minutes from like all my class, or 15-20 minute walk. Like sometimes I would walk, and like including my run too, it would be like 13 miles in a day sometimes. That was like an intense day though. I would say like at least 5 miles a day though.
I'd say I would walk like less than a mile a day. One, I'm not much of a walker anyway.
I'm a big walker.
And Scad has buses that would pick us up right at the top of the Hive and take us to our classes. So the only class I walked to was, we had 2 classes in this place called Hurstand Hall, which is right next to the Hive. So it's like a 10-minute walk there. So I would walk there to those classes.
Do you have a car on campus?
I did not freshman year. UNC is kind of notorious for its parking situation. Didn't have a car last year, but I will this year because I got a parking permit at my sorority house. So I'm so glad for that.
They have like free parking at to get like a Scad parking permit. So I had my car for most of last year, and I mean most of Savannah is walkable. So like I would walk most of the time. But if I had to go somewhere like outside of the like central historic area, like Target or something, I would drive. And this year, I have 2 classes that are gonna be like a 45-minute walk away if I were to walk, so I'm going, and it's like through kind of a bad area, so I'm gonna drive to those 2 classes.
Okay, final question for this segment. Is the student body enthusiastic about attending your school?
I would say there's a lot of school pride at UNC. Like if you walk through, you're gonna see like half the people are wearing UNC stuff, and like especially like at basketball games, like it's really high school spirit, so definitely lots of fun.
There's not really like school spirit because we don't really have like sports really, and like there's never really people wearing like the like Scad shirts that often, but we are very passionate about our president and founder Paula Wallace and our mascot Art the Bee. But other than that, not really. Overall, like people who go to Scad and like stay through or graduate from Scad are really passionate about it, like how, because it's so awesome.
Okay, into the next segment, which is style/fashion. What do you usually wear to class?
I would say like a lot of people are just kind of lazy for class, me included. I wear like a lot of like athletic shorts, tennis skirts, or like athletic like tank tops or like t-shirts. It's really casual. I mean, occasionally like there are people obviously who like dress up. Kudos to them. I would say the majority of them is pretty like laid back, very like sweatpants, sweatshirts.
A ton of people are like fashion majors and just like, you know, creative majors in general. Everybody like dresses up a lot to go to class. So I would pretty much like, oh wait, you can watch my fashion outfit ideas for school video.
Oh, no.
If you want to see like the typical outfit that I would wear to class, like those were literally like what I wore to class. So like, you know, not like super fancy, but just like, you know, cool outfits. I wore Nike shorts to class once.
Okay, what do you usually wear when going out?
A lot of our, like, it's like jean shorts and like crop tops, like tube tops type thing. Like when it gets colder, like jeans.
I'm not really a going out person, so. But if you were to go out, they would probably wear whatever they would wear at that school, because it's like
That
honestly,
school.
at that school.
That school. The last like miscellaneous segment. What does going out look like at your school?
Like underclassmen is like heavy in the frats. You go to the frat houses like a bunch then, and then I would say like as you get older, like probably the bars. I'm not older yet, so I don't really know.
We have a lot of like night lounges or whatever. Lounges, they're like called lounges because they're really fancy because they're in Savannah. Then the only other parties are like at sports houses. So like there's a lacrosse house that sometimes has parties, and like sometimes they have like beach parties and stuff, but I've never really like gone to any.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last question is, what do you love the most at your school?
I just love the vibe. Everybody's like, there's so many like different people. So it's like really nice to meet like a bunch of cool friends, and everybody's like really passionate about everything they do. So
I like how everybody is doing like a creative major. It's just cool how much people work together on projects. Like if you are doing like, for example, like a film, if you're a film major and you need like a graphic designer to like design the posters and stuff, or if you're like a performing arts major and you need a photographer to take your headshots and stuff, like it's really cool how like everybody's like really talented. And also I just love being in Savannah in general because it's just so awesome and so pretty. So that is it for this video. Thanks again to Enzo for being our TK.
I need to stop popping in this video.
TK is to Alicia Marie as Enzo is to Anna Katherine.
So true.
In this video.
Because I'm not being paid.
And
so.
thanks to Carolina. Please be keeping her in your thoughts and prayers about her back pain. That was induced in this video. And please comment down below any other questions you have about Scad or normal school, because normal school.
just like roasting yourself.
I know.
Subscribe to me.
Oh yeah, and subscribe to Enzo.
Bye guys.
Bye guys.
And Anna. Subscribe to Anna.
Wait.